Welcome into DC On Screen episode 404. Today we're going to get super spoilery on Gotham 3, 21, and 22. Heroes Rise, Destiny Calling / Heavydirtysoul. This is going to be the season finale for season 3. Again, getting super spoilery, so if you haven't seen it, we're going to be talking about all of it as far as we know. We probably will forget something.
Yeah.
I'm David C. Robertson. This is my co-host, Jason Goss.
Hello.
Alright guys, to recap, Bruce is off to find the demon's head and finds Alexander Siddig's Ra's al Ghul. Yes, pronounced Ra's. With Alfred close behind, Ra's has brainwashed Bruce to run Alfred through with a sword, the act of which snapped Bruce out of it, by the way. Actually, I guess he was brainwashed before that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Ra's tells Bruce to use the Lazarus Pit, or the waters, to save Alfred, and he does. Then it's off to the hospital. Jim, infected with the Tetch virus, searches for Lee and a cure, which brings him to Hugo Strange. But Fish Mooney has her own plans for Strange, which is pretty much all moot as Jim goes into rage mode, kills a ton of Ra's al Ghul's assassins, and Fish Mooney as well. Of course, she was holding the cure, and that's now gone, shattered. The only way for a cure to be had now is to get Tetch himself. We also have more fun with Penguin and Riddler this week with a Tetch for Penguin trade, but Barbara intervened, and Oswald wound up with Riddler trussed up like a Christmas goose in the back of a squad car, speeding towards his inevitable doom. Nygma got free, though, took Pingers down to the docks to complete what he started, but Penguin predicted this scenario and made sure the gun was empty. Then Mr. Freeze turned up to turn Ed into Penguin's centerpiece for his new Iceberg lounge. Jim has a cure for the virus, but there's only one. He tries to give it to Lee, but she destroys it. Then they decide to leave town to wreak black-eyed havoc on the world. Bullock and Jim fight at the train station, and Bullock slips him a couple of new vials of the cure. Jim injects Lee and himself with the cure, but Lee still leaves town because that's what Lee Tompkins does at the end of a Gotham season. Barbara figures out that Tabitha and Butch are planning a coup and shoots Butch in the head. Then she goes after Tabitha. Tabitha hears that Butch is dead and fries the hell out of Barbara. Yay. After a confrontation with Bruce in the hospital, Selina goes running for the shelter of Barbara at the Sirens Club, but finds Tabitha with her whip instead. Selina is predictably good with the whip. Butch is somehow holding on to life, or at least in a hospital bed somehow. We don't get that exposition.
No.
But the doctor does say that Butch Gilzean is a fake name, and his real name is Cyrus Gold, a.k.a. Solomon Grundy. Finally, a husband, wife, and their young daughter foolishly find their way down a dark alley where a gunman emerges, only to be dispatched by a shadowy, ski-masked figure in a trench coat who makes his way back to the roof of a nearby building and removes his mask to reveal a still very young and skinny Bruce Wayne. Alright. That's quite the recap.
That is quite the recap.
A lot of stuff happened in this episode.
Yeah, I don't fault the size of it. But yeah, it was a movie.
First time I've ever heard that. I'm kidding.
Yeah, it was a movie. It kind of felt like that when you sat down to watch it. Like I did really enjoy it. I don't even really have that much to call on it. I mean, but really, I normally have a lot more to say against it, but no, I really enjoyed it.
I don't know. I really don't have necessarily a ton against it. I'm glad that the Tetch virus thing is over.
Yeah. Well, I think he said 90% cure rate, so maybe there's still some lingering out there.
Yeah, that last percent is executioner.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like they're using cleavage as a measurement of evil on this show.
I feel like you're talking about Selina.
Well, actually, that works too. But I was actually talking about Lee.
Oh, yeah. No, they did that with her hard. They've done it with Poison Ivy as well, and then they changed Selina's outfit at the end of this episode with the whip.
I mean, it
She's
absolutely
normally had
did look
that
the
kind of almost biker jacket thing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it absolutely did look a lot more like the Catwoman costume from the books.
It did. I mean,
currently.
I got nothing against it. I'm just saying it does fit your trend.
But no, I was mainly talking about Lee. If she'd gotten any more evil, they would have to rename her Areola Grande.
Were you proud of that one?
But
There were a couple of things that I really loved, and they are probably the like backhanded compliment that I can give the show this time. Mm-hmm. Fish seems to be dead for real. Mm-hmm. And
because she's been through it enough to know
when her
she's number's
done
up
or whatever. And she went out kind of. It's kind of funny. Like when she was playing her death scene, she played that more subtly than she played being alive.
That's true.
So it was actually like it was a good death scene.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't the worst thing in the world.
No, and then I did love her little ode to him, like make the city yours.
That was one thing that actually did bother me. Is like she and Penguin got cozy real quick.
They've always. It's kind of like. I feel like it's kind of like when Butch and Fish met up again a couple episodes ago. It was. They almost could have hugged in the middle of that tense scene, and it wouldn't have felt weird for me. Mm-hmm. But she talked about it like early, like before the season break with Penguin. Like when she didn't kill him in the forest that night, it was Penguin's her greatest achievement, like turning him from a sniveling little worm into what he is now. Mm-hmm. So I can completely buy that she brought him back on the team, and I do. If you notice though, and this is the other thing. Lee has to leave at the end of seasons, and Fish has to come back to mess with Penguin for a little while. Mm-hmm. I guess.
Hopefully, this is the end of that.
I think it's the end of both for now. I don't know how much Lee's going to be on the roster next year, but I kind of hope it's very little, or at least that they don't use her for the first half of the season, because her little Dear John letter I thought was pretty cool wrap up.
It was a fitting exit for her character.
Mm-hmm. Now, I mean, they're hoping there for Jim, like. Wraps up their relationship pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there's a part of me that thinks maybe that it's kind of an unfair wrap-up for her character because she wasn't even really playing herself the last few episodes. But, I mean, what has she done playing herself? You know, not her specifically, but the writers haven't given her a lot to do.
Well, that's actually... It may be the other way around. It's kind of in the same way that Tom Cavanaugh loves playing different versions of Harrison.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
She might have really enjoyed like them getting to let her be more angry this time instead of a more like maternal kind of figure. That she has been a romantic, basically like a base romance figure for a lot of the show, and then she gets to do this angry thing, and then she gets to go overboard. But same reason Chickless was saying one of the reasons he took the role was because they told him where his character was going to go with it. Mm-hmm. So maybe Moreno was enjoying herself more than we were enjoying that particular turn on the character. Which
is weird because in hindsight it feels like all these actors were just like, so you're telling me I can be really bad, like really bad? What do you mean? In what way? Like, because we want you to become like a badass villain. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I can. It's sort of like is how like whenever they did episodes over into the mirror universe on Star Trek.
Yeah.
All of them overacted so much.
Yeah. But they probably had a great time.
Oh, absolutely. You could tell they were having a great time. They were running around chewing that scenery, buddy.
Yeah, they went home happy and tired at the end of that work day. The other
mustache twirling bastards.
Yeah. The other backhanded compliment that is Barbara's gone.
Yeah, and
we saw the body.
A lot of
they didn't do anything with her in the wrap up. I think that means she's gone.
I will say this, okay? If you go over to TV Line, they say they have sources that say that Harley Quinn was not in the finale, as was reported and claimed by the executive producers months ago. And it's come up over and over again that we're going to see some version of Harley Quinn in the finale. Mm-hmm. A lot of fans are saying that we did see it. I mean, and they jump back to Joker electrocuting Harley in Suicide Squad, and say that in some versions that is part of her origin. And this could be like a good, clean personality break for Barbara into Harley Quinn. I think Barbara's dead. Yeah.
Not that couldn't be made to work, but if it happened that way, its major flaws would be you didn't give me... You did an entire wrap-up of as many characters as you could. They even gave Tetch a shout-out about, like, well, what happened to him? He stumbled into an ER. They flushed him back into, Arkham. Fine. Like, they did a pretty good job of wrapping up where everybody went this season. and then to just leave her unattended and have her show up again would be a little, a little more foreshadowing would be nice. And man, that looked like a body. It just looked like a body. There didn't seem to be any, like, I think there was steam.
There was smoke coming out of the eye sockets.
Like, that's rough. Plus, do you think Tabitha would really leave any chance that the person who killed Butch isn't, murdered kind of dead?
I don't know. Tabitha couldn't even watch a guy who was tied up to a chair.
Yeah, but that's not, the same as killing somebody. Like, I don't think her revenge skills would be lacking.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't help but notice the little girl at the end of the episode that Bruce saves.
Mm-hmm.
Her skirt had Harley Quinn colors, like red and blue. And it looked like she even had like the little, like a version of the little necklace thing. It almost looked gesture-ish.
Would be a nice call.
I don't know. I might be wrong. That might not be Harley Quinn.
I doubt it very seriously, but
I think it's got an equal shot of being her than just as equal shot as Barbara. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like,
you can make about anything work in these kinds of universes. But
yeah.
Speaking of that scene, that was so nice to see. Just nice to
fun.
See. I mean, it was rewarding because of a lot of things. Mostly because in the wrap up, you see Bruce Wayne watching the victims of the Tetch virus and everything, and it's the intensity on his face. You're like, yeah, do something, buddy. And then he gets out there, does some serious ass kicking, comes up there, and you get this nice shot of him. I just thought it was a well done scene, and it was nice to see him doing that kind of year one thing. And it was a very year one-y outfit,
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure. I'm still I still feel like he was gone for like 2 weeks.
It's not that. I mean, he trained with Alfred for forever, and then he goes off and trains with League of Assassins.
I know.
And to be fair,
by the way,
we saw him kicking some serious ass while he was training. Like,
yeah.
I believe he could take one guy who's such a cowardly and superstitious soul. He has to have a gun.
I know. I'll tell you what I didn't buy though. Even in Rage Fit, Jim Gordon taking down all of those League of Assassin people without a scratch.
I didn't actually care. It was so fun to watch. I didn't care. It really didn't. I mean, we're talking about the same guy that's it's one of the only people that's ever probably taken a Talon hand to hand. He is an absolutely masterful hand to hand combatant. The only thing I didn't buy about it was that he was so good with a sword. But the guy has theoretically such good hand eye coordination. And then on the Rage virus, I just kind of I didn't care about that. I was just thinking, oh, that's awesome.
No, I didn't buy it at all. I just couldn't.
I
felt
like questioned it probably more if it hadn't ended with him killing Fish. I was so happy about that at the end that I was just cheering for him.
I hear you. I did feel like we were like some network practices and standards rules away from a Quentin Tarantino movie at that point.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, they did a lot of when he was doing most of his slashing, it was kind of with backlighting, so you couldn't see where the blood should be and stuff.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And I enjoyed the shots of ice and fire over all that. It was a nice little spectacle. Mm-hmm. Choreography was good.
Yeah, somewhat felt like it looked like Firefly wasn't really actually hitting anything. Just kind of throwing fire into the air.
Maybe. It might cost too much for her to hit stuff.
Great line in the episode. Damn it, Jim, fight the virus, not the car. That's my car.
Yeah. Harvey had a couple of great ones as usual.
What's the matter with you? You had never seen blood in a mason jar before? Right.
He's got a great speech with for him getting sober for a second. Who you are as a choice. This is who you are. Best cop I ever worked with. Best friend I ever had. All that stuff. Mm-hmm. Good speech to bring him back. But better when they're talking about it later is hey, can I come in? No, you threw me against a train car.
Twice,
actually. I felt like a freaking cartoon.
That was great.
Yeah. Yep. I felt like a freaking cartoon might have been his one of his best.
Mm-hmm. And maybe even the show digging at itself a bit.
I thought so. I really did think so. Because even then they continue that conversation with like, man, I'd like to get back to some regular police work, like something without secret cults and all, like whatever they're like, monsters or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it did seem like the show made fun of itself a little bit.
All right, so oh Jim, you sick bastard! I laughed really hard at that line.
Yeah,
that was a great line.
Yeah.
All right, so, yeah. Everything with Alfred and Bruce this episode.
Gorgeous.
There is no life. There is no love without pain. I would do anything for you. I would die for you. All good stuff.
You must find that love again.
Was very upset that Bruce was just, I don't care, he was brainwashed. He was just so mean to Alfred.
Yeah.
Why do people want Bruce to be mean to Alfred? I'm never for it.
They just did it as a setup. I think it was just to make the Alfred's
don't care.
I'll call it death scene more powerful.
I don't like it.
Well, you don't get everything you like in TV.
Stop being mean to Alfred.
It's the Whedon effect. No, and I really loved Alfred in that scene. He's so damn chipper while he's being kidnapped, and then the thing about like you're going to remember how much I loved you, and this is what you need. That's just my favorite part though. If this is what you need to do, Master Bruce, do it. You crack on.
Yeah.
But he's a very like aloof prisoner for a second, and then it goes into this extremely sincere moment. And there's not even like disbelief in his eyes when he actually stabs him. It's just like, oh, this hurts. I stand by what I said, but shit, this hurts.
Yeah.
But all that stuff about like when he's trying to convince Bruce earlier in the interrogation room about the stories about his parents, and that's real. Ah.
Yeah, that's great. It's great stuff. Oh my gosh. What did you think of Siddig, Alexander Siddig as Ra's al Ghul?
Really?
For what little we got of him.
Really liked him.
Yeah.
Subtle. The only thing I didn't like is that we did this on Arrow, but you can't really. I mean, that's not Gotham's fault.
No, we didn't do this on Arrow.
No, I mean it's literally it's literally like you're the heir that I need, and then he's actually proud of him that he's so strong that he doesn't want to take on the role, and he broke the brainwashing, and then he's still going to be kind of looking for him in the future. Like it's very similar.
It's similar because they just did the Batman story on Arrow.
I know. It's just that's what's at the heart of the characters. So I say that as in I've seen this recently, and if you did something different, it wouldn't have hurt my feelings at all. But it's not like I mean that's the heart of the character. It's not their fault they did something true to the material.
Already like Alexander Siddig's Ra's al Ghul so much more than Matt Nable.
I agree. Mostly, even down to costume, he looked better.
Oh my gosh,
he even had the pointy hair in the back.
The character. He did, and he had the gray streaks.
Perfectly placed little gray streak.
He had like little chin points with his goatee.
The robes looked fantastic.
And it's Alexander Siddig, so he seemed like Ra's al Ghul instead of I don't know, a poor man's Kano from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. Yeah, he looked great, and he's subtle and scary. So, and he'll be back, obviously. So, I'm looking forward to that return.
Yeah, me too. He kind of did things that I didn't think he would do. So, I was worried that he would go a little too far with, like I've said before, Possession Bashir from DS9.
Yeah. Well, even the way he exits, it's still like, you're going to be my true heir. Like, I'll be back for you. By the way, that water will save your friend. Like, it's very, aloof, very, I've got all the time in the world. This will sort itself out.
Yeah.
And the
freaking Lazarus Pit was green.
It was good.
The Lazarus Pit was green. I was excited about that.
Oh, as soon as I saw the Lazarus Pit, I kind of went,
That's the way you do a Lazarus Pit arrow.
It was glowy and green and, yeah.
Not a waiting pool with steam on top of it?
No, it looked like I could have dove onto that and into theirs on a vacation. Like, that's part of the amenities of that particular hotel is, and we have a steam pool with rocks surrounding it.
One of the weird things in this story was when Bruce left the police station and he's like walking around the streets and everyone's kind of going nuts. He steps behind a sign and it's very obvious he's just standing there. Like, there's no way those people didn't see him. The people who were walking by as he I don't know, hid from them and watched them. It was real weird.
I don't remember exactly the shots on that. I'm going to trust you.
There were guards, and it was just, he didn't jump out of the way quickly and hide quickly. He was very obviously in the open it was just a weird shot, and it took me out of it. I was like, what is this? What's happening?
All I actually remember about that is thinking, well, I mean, I know the streets are chaos, but they took away all of his pain and fear. He's just a psychopath walking through the streets, pretty well trained around.
Well, that's fine. I mean,
so that didn't bother me. It was actually the scene before that I got a little confused about. Even for Ed, knowing that that Tetch is the antivirus seemed like a stretch.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
I mean, I know he's maybe probably the smartest guy on the show, even maybe including Lucius. I mean, Lucius is a really smart guy, but I think they've set Nygma up to be probably the most clever person there. Mm-hmm. Even for him, Yeah.
Just, It's now or never. One of these days I'm going to say never.
Oh,
love that line.
Got that one too, yeah.
Oh, man, at least I know who I am. The moment you were reborn was a lie, so your entire personality is based on a lie. There's nothing you can do to... Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. No, honestly, there wasn't a moment of Penguin and Ed that I didn't love. And actually, even sandwiching it with Penguin and Hugo, the torture scene with him and Hugo, great job. And then afterwards, that self-satisfaction on his face when Ed's an iceberg. Really, really loved Penguin straight through this whole movie, I guess, again.
Mm-hmm. And I'll say this, B.D. Wong as Strange has gotten so over the top and so awful that I actually really enjoy him now. Where he sees fish, oh no.
Yeah.
And then, they're talking about the brain device, the thing that he used on Penguin. And Penguin's like, that's why I have it over here. I had to have it. And B.D. Wong goes, what?
Yeah.
It was just so bad.
Here's where it is now. He's doing a bad impression of someone doing a worse impression of George Takei.
He's doing something like that. Yeah. But I really enjoy him for some reason now.
Yeah.
By the way, I loved this. I loved the cold open on this episode with Gotham in flames and the panic and the looting. That what was it? Like the monorail just coming through was on fire with black smoke. It was just. For some reason, I felt like this is what I feel like Dark Knight Rises promised us in trailers, but never delivered on.
Yeah, it was just crowds of people having pillow fights in rich houses.
Is that what was happening?
I remember crowds, and then I remember a pillow fight in a rich house. And I know I'm remembering this wrong, but that's how I've memorialized the riot scenes.
Yeah,
I think someone knocked over a stop sign. I'm not sure. It got crazy.
Man, what'd you? I felt like what I felt like. Nygma being the frozen centerpiece for the Iceberg Lounge was a bit dumb.
No, really liked it.
But I enjoyed the Iceberg Lounge being mentioned so much that I kind of forgave it.
Yeah, I mean, I like that Penguin's taken that over. Taking over the other parts of his persona. So he's taken over the city. He's fully the Penguin. He enjoys working with freaks. He's taken out some of his greatest enemies, and he's got an Iceberg Lounge. We've got the Penguin. Mm-hmm. It's he's here. He's arrived. This is no longer a developing character.
I'm still waiting for that bottle to get shoved into his eye socket.
Yeah. I could do without the monocle or the bottle. I could do without either of those. And I really don't want the cigarette on the cigarette holder thing.
I don't think they'll do that anyway.
I don't. Yeah. Actually, I'll be honest. His costume's fine. A lot of the other accompanying penguin-esque stuff I could deal without.
I would do away with his hair.
We'll just put a hat on. You want the top hat back? Give him a nice top hat, so you don't have to see the hair as much.
That's fine. I mean, I'd just rather him slick it back. I was really excited when he was running for mayor and he was slicking his hair back.
That did look a lot better.
Finally. Yeah.
And
finally.
maybe he does. Maybe next year he comes back with a haircut and he's decided it was time to mature.
Yeah.
Some of his image.
Sort of just can we not have the good Charlotte hair, please?
Yeah.
Please? No? Yeah. Okay.
No.
Man, when they asked for what Bruce's relation was to Alfred in the hospital, and he pauses, I was like, "Say he's my dad! Say he's my dad! We're family." Okay.
Now that one, we're family was enough for me.
Yeah, but what's funny is, and kind of also pulled me out of it at the same time, is that they even asked, because Alfred has now been in the hospital so many times on this show, that they should just be like, "Oh, hey, Bruce."
Oh, it's Bruce's. It's Bruce's boy. I agree. He gets hospitalized a lot.
Alfred is Gotham's version of Tim Allen's character, Tim Taylor from Home Improvement. He's just always in the hospital.
Yeah.
They should know him by name.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Alfred. What happened this time? Gunshot wound? Stab? Oh, another stabbing. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Ooh, clean through. That's a good one. That's new. All right. Why is it partially... You know what? I'm not even going to ask.
Every time I ask, he starts talking about kippers, and I don't know. I'm just going to move on.
Yeah.
You think they're going to do full-fledged Solomon Grundy? I don't remember Solomon Grundy being so fat.
I mean, he's big, which is, I think,
he's big.
The biggest guy on the show. I wonder how much they're going to do with it, though, because, like, to some extent, like, the magic this season, and what was the other thing I'd already thought of? Oh, yeah, even, like, the Child of Destiny part and the magic and all that, it was a little, like, Gotham had promised to be such a gritty show, and I think that's what they were kind of making fun of themselves with Gordon and Bullock, is, like, all right, we went for it a little. Viruses and everything else. So I don't know how far they're going to go with it, because Grundy's story is normally like killed, left for dead in a pond, pond's magic kind of properties, chemical stuff, and then comes back, and then magically again almost, it seems, every time you kill him he comes back a little stronger. So it would be kind of a fun oh my god, they killed Kenny kind of thing if he gets killed several times during next season, and if he just keeps coming back, and at some point Gordon's like, damn it, man.
I was like,
little Jason Freddy, why won't you die?
Yeah, they did bring in a little, Lazarus Pit there, so they could do that. But I was like thinking about that. I was like, I can't imagine any real use that Raish would have for Butch.
I don't think it'll be Butch. Tabitha doesn't know he's alive, and Selina was actually a pretty big fan of Butch. They had their differences, but they were actually pretty tight. I think those two go in and figure out and somehow find out about the Lazarus Pit themselves and do it, if anything.
Maybe. It's a good call.
There's some sneaky little girls. Also, I like the team of Tabitha and Selina. That sounds deadly.
Hopefully they don't go find Barbara's body and throw her in a Lazarus Pit.
I can't imagine why they would. If anything, they're going to throw her in an incinerator.
They killed so many people in the show.
Yeah, and for the better.
But in the same episode, they show me the Lazarus Pit, and I go, none of this is gonna stay. None of it sticks.
Well, I mean, it's a good bet though that somebody's coming back, but the only person whose kind of story arc didn't really wrap up pretty well is Butch, and I even like how he went out. It was just so much fun to see him kind of so flippant. What do you tell her? Like, for all your talk, you miss her or something like that. And I even like he's putting like a crowbar or something in the car. I can't remember. It's a very old school kind of tool. And like he hears Barbara behind him and rolls his eyes like, damn it, I'm gonna die. You can almost hear him thinking it. And turns around with this attitude of like, I'm gonna get a few quips in before I die, bitch.
Yeah. I like Butch.
I do. And that's my only real regret about getting Solomon Grundy is A, I hope they make it believable. B, I just like Butch so much.
What's weird is I was kind of rooting for him to just die years ago, when he just became like Penguin's weird puppet.
When he was just Penguin's weird sweaty puppet, that was horrible. I was like, for his own sake, like One Flew Over the Cuckoo Nest kind of sake, like put a pillow on him in the middle of the night. But before that, he was even so much fun. You remember in the first few episodes, he talks to like two guys and he's like, all right, I need this. And they don't answer quick enough, so he shoots one of them in the kneecap like, all right, so I chose for you or whatever.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
I started falling in love with him early on. He was just a no-nonsense kind of momster.
Oh, man, I don't even know what to hope for in the next season. I really don't.
Oh, now, Gordon's kind of arc through the last couple episodes in general, what'd you think? Like him being a rager and coming back?
His story is the least interesting story on the show to me.
Just in general?
Just in general. Like, his story is so boring to me. And I don't want it to be that way.
He advances the plot so damn well, though.
It was a little more. I mean, that's what he does. That's his role in the show. I mean, he advances the plot while Bullock makes quips.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair though, a lot of the show revolves around him. And he does a pretty damn good job. I mean, I've made fun of Mackenzie for a few things in the past, but I've always thought he did a pretty good job. And the last couple episodes with his little rage thing, I liked how he played it. It gave good opportunities for Bullock. For both humor and heart. And then,
sure.
Tricking Leslie onto the train and slipping her a Cura Mickey.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I wish they would give Jim and Bullock the kind of attention they give to Penguin and Ed and make them interesting, likable characters that we care about. Like, I want to know about their personal lives outside of, oh no, my girlfriend hates me because I killed her husband, blah, blah, blah. Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, it'd be nice to watch Gordon date someone that I had real interest in. So far, I just haven't cared about a lot of his relationships.
I was actually a little more interested in him when Barbara was more normal and their relationship just wasn't working because he didn't know how to talk to her about the job. That was more in line with like the Jim Gordon of the books.
That was a little interesting, yeah.
Like she was boring and had no purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I was way more interested to see where she was going to go and how she was going to become, bitter and angry toward Jim over the course of the series. More so, I mean, I was more interested in that idea than what. Yeah, that was weird.
I did like the girl he was dating earlier this season.
Oh, Valerie Vale.
Yeah, yeah, that was what it was. Kind of was more interested in her than reverting back to the Lee thing. Mm-hmm. Not that it didn't make a decent scene with Tetch that one episode, but.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I'm not trying to say that Barbara didn't become more fun and more interesting as a character. Just that was a weird turn for the character, and while she was fun, it didn't really help Jim out at all for me. Yeah. So, not that it had to, but,
Well, and it was a little interesting to see him kind of admitting to himself that old Barbara's gone, and eventually getting to the point where he just dealt with her as one of his underground allies. Mm-hmm. That part, if you just took pieces from it, was pretty interesting. I just I wouldn't know what to do with him exactly. And Harvey, you've gotten little glimpses, but they don't seem contiguous. Mm-hmm. He goes in, he's sober for a while. We wait a few episodes. Next time we see him, he has a drink. Nothing happening there. He has this great girl. Same time. Next time we see him, he's horrid. Don't know what's happened on there. Mm-hmm. Feel like some shit went down with Harvey, and we just didn't get that scene.
Yeah, it's like they kind of pretend they want to invest us in their lives, and then they can just back to status quo.
Yeah.
The only thing they won't go ahead and give up on is this freaking Lee crap.
I really do hope they're putting that to bed for a while, because I don't know what more you can do with her for a minute. Long distance relationship is going to be boring. Her suddenly deciding to come back after such a good Dear John wrap up is worthless. I feel like she just has to stay away for a while. And even then, I don't want Jim sitting around mourning, Lee being gone. It should be way over that by now.
Mm-hmm. I say he meets a different Barbara.
Yeah. I mean, everybody, I just don't want him to have a love life for a while is what it really amounts to. I just want him to, focus on the show.
That would be nice. Yeah. That would be nice. Of course, when in the comics, whenever they've actually gone into Gordon's life, they either go to his daughter or his love life. Yeah. That's about it.
Yeah. I mean, Essen was good for a while. I mean, but they were comrades in a way, so.
Mm-hmm. Gosh. You know what? I want to see Montoya and Alan come back.
Yeah, I just want to see them come back because there was so much potential with some of the characters they've become at times, but the actual two characters just didn't catch on with anybody. I mean, I didn't care that much. I was just curious about, hey, that could possibly be Question Inspector. That'd be great, but no.
Man, that was weird.
It was, anyway. But they just kind of vanished because I don't know how you gauge which two characters need to disappear when your ratings drop a little bit, but those two got the axe.
I don't know. It's a weird thing with Montoya and Barbara and the drug use and all that. That was weird. Yeah. All of that was weird to me.
I don't want Montoya coming back to find Tabitha going, "You killed my ex-lover." Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, no.
And there's been so much department corruption that if they were going to come back to investigate, they should have been here years ago.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it's pretty clear though that the show's not going to get back to a gritty, non-cartoon reality. Ra's al Ghul is going to be the big bad next season. I'm 120% certain of it.
Yeah. And we've got Penguin and Ed. I know Ed's in a block of ice, but I don't feel like that means that's over.
Yeah. By the way, Penguin and Ed, I feel like is the best relationship on the show, the most interesting storyline going on the show.
And this is a great pause button. Just make him the center point.
This is a great pause button.
I don't know who's going to get him out of there, though. He doesn't really have too many friends on the outside that would care. Mm-hmm. Maybe Gordon sees him in there and goes, "Oh, this isn't right." But even then, as a cop, wouldn't you be like, I'm going to let this one slide. It's a guy that robbed 5 banks in one night. I think I'll...
I could see Gordon looking in there, talking to Penguin about something at the lounge, and then just kind of glancing up, doing the double take, and being like, "Is that Ed?" And Penguin just shrugging and smiling,
grinning from ear to ear.
Yeah, and Gordon just goes, all right.
Or just even one of those, like, I'm not going to ask.
Yeah, like, at least he's not robbing banks.
Yeah, like, you going to let him out anytime soon? Maybe.
That's funny.
It might be Penguin. Maybe Penguin gets himself into so much trouble that he needs that brain of Ed's to get him out of it.
Well, didn't they, like, when Freeze first started freezing people, didn't they say that, like, if they didn't get him out in a certain amount of time, they would die?
I don't remember. I don't remember that detail.
Yeah, I know it was in Batman and Robin, but I don't remember it necessarily if it was in Gotham.
I mean, I'm
pretty sure the real answer to that is nope, they're going to die.
What would probably be in, like, what, episode 3 or 4 this year when that was when Mr. Freeze happened?
Oh, hell no. I think it was last year.
Was it last year?
I think so.
Can't remember who we were in. No, I mean, that was all about Tetch at the beginning of this year, right? They didn't take a time out to do Freeze? Okay, so that was beginning of last year with Firefly and all that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, then, it's still, I think the episode title's like Mr. Freeze. We can go find it real quick and do some research if we get bored enough over there.
I mean, really, all they have to do is say that he perfected the freezing thing to save more people.
In case he felt like getting something up. It'd be funny if his solution was like, nope, I decided I would start stealing rare exotic animals and selling them to the highest bidder. Mm-hmm. But they ship really well if you freeze them.
I capture rare exotic animals. I thought they would be cool.
Yeah. This albino panda can last 7 years in the ice.
Like, oh man, they even did the pun with Freeze in this episode. Where like, looks like Gordon and Bullock are running a bit hot. Cool them down. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man, come on. I like a pun as much as the next guy, but come on, guys.
They've been ruined for decades. Like, you know how it's if like a nuclear bomb goes off or there's a Chernobyl accident, there's like some 35 year period where you can't use that land anymore.
Uh-huh.
That's what happened in Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
For ice puns.
Yes.
And we're not at the end of that
no.
statutory period yet.
Yeah, no.
Far from it, I would say.
Yeah, it's sort of the you remember the David Mitchell soapbox about the Vikings, how it's okay to say the joke about people raping and pillaging because the Vikings haven't been around for a really long time.
Right. No one remembers the carnage anymore. You can just say that, like, someone keeps raping and pillaging my pencil jar and it's fine.
Uh-huh.
He both raped and pillaged that macaroni.
Yeah. If you haven't seen David Mitchell's soapbox, oh my gosh, go watch as many of those as you can. They're phenomenal.
Yeah.
They're on YouTube.
They're all good. My favorite was on the I could care less. It's been a pet peeve of mine since middle school. I could care less. Okay, well then do so. What? You mean I couldn't care less? Oh.
Yeah. I think the raping and pillaging was my favorite. Like, you can almost imagine an old uncle saying, "Where are you boys off to tonight? Raping and pillaging, I'll be bound." But you wouldn't be happy if they said, "Well, not pillaging anyway."
Yeah. Yeah, have to have the full context to get away with that one.
Yeah. Anyway, guys.
Did we miss anybody? Did we miss anything? I don't think we did, but...
I don't think we missed anything.
I have no idea where they're going next season either, but some of the elements they've set up are good. I mean, Raish just being out there in the world, great. Mm-hmm. I don't think you can do anything else.
He's called Raish.
Yeah, and he's called Raish. I don't think you can do anything else with Tetch. I think that story's done. They just let it whimper away. You got Penguin. Ed's literally like a ticking time bomb. He's definitely a first act gun, right now. He's there. There's potential.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what to do with the rest of them. Some of the main players are back. Gordon and Bullock are just going to keep being Gordon and Bullock. And you got, Bruce Wayne back to being trained by Alfred, but hitting the streets at night. Like, he's in actual vigilante form at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Alfred's still in the hospital, but...
Might be for a minute, yeah.
Yeah. I was actually annoyed with how mean Bruce was to Selina. I was like, dude, she came to the hospital to see Alfred. You dick. You are the one that stabbed him. You dick.
I know. They're gonna have a hostile relationship at times. That is good. I mean, it's a good question. I wonder if they try to bring that back a little bit, but I don't know. She's always been so standoffish that I've never bought it completely. And he's like, think about the time he goes and like cooks the entire meal, including chocolate cake, I think it was, and she shows up late, and he does give her like a stern speech about like, look, I went through a lot of effort. We had a date. Dates happen at a certain time. Come on now. But it's still like they were never gonna have felt like a real trusting relationship.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they better.
Yeah. I would like it if they found themselves both out. Like they could do a little tiny version of Catwoman and Batman right now, because apparently she's done surviving. She wants to, whatever it was she said, I want more.
Yeah.
If that means she's going out in the night and doing a bunch of robberies, and Bruce finds himself vigilante style trying to stop robberies, then we've got a little early form. I don't think Bruce is up for taking Tabitha yet, though.
I don't know. If Gordon can take out a whole slew of assassins from Ra's al Ghul, Bruce could probably take on Tabitha.
Yeah, maybe. I won't rule it out.
Anyway. All right. I think that's going to do it. I think that's going to call it.
That's our season finale as well.
Yeah, in a way. As far as I know, we'll be back with the news.
So much.
In a day or two.
So much.
Yeah. We are DC on screen. You can find what?
One more thing. You reminded me of that with the news.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. It's a very unfortunate thing in retrospect, but Penguin's ringtone.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
yeah.
And that was so delightful when I wrote it down. I was like, oh my God, check that out. Penguin's got the 66 thing. And then read my notes today and went, oh.
Yeah.
But I had to give it a shout out.
Yeah. We'll talk more about it on the news episode, but we lost Adam West a couple of days ago, and it was I don't know. It's kind of really I've been pretty bummed out about it. So
yeah.
I mean, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
With that?
Yeah.
But we'll talk more about that in the upcoming news episodes. Probably the DC TV episode.
I think so.
I guess it would be appropriate to say we lost Adam West, but I don't want to talk about it now, Robin. It depresses me.
I don't blame you.
As he would say.
Yeah.
Always liked that line a lot.
Yeah. Go back and watch those now.
Anyway, yeah. All right, so you can hit us up, DC On Screen, one word, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, dconscreen@gmail.com. Drop us a line. We do fan feedback. We didn't really get any for Gotham. We almost never do.
Nah, it's very rare.
For Gotham. But yeah, if you guys have more, we've got a lot of feedback to talk about tomorrow. We've got a few voicemails, and you can call us 205-259-6331. That is 205-259-6331. Leave us a voicemail, and we will play it on the show. And I'm pretty excited. We've got an update from the old Witter woman. So that might be fun. And DCOnscreen.com for every new episode, every old episode. All of it's free. And until next time, keep some DC on your screen.